We're here on the beautiful West Coast, Vancouver, Canada, with Peter H. Thomas, serial entrepreneur, philanthropist, founder, Century 21 Canada, Life Pilot, as well as the Todd Thomas Institute for Values-Based Leadership at Royal Roads University, and Chairman Emeritus for the Global Entrepreneurs Organization. My name is Mike Show, and I'm talking today with Peter about his latest book, Be Great, The 5 Foundations of an Extraordinary Life in Business and Beyond, which is available on begreatbook.com. Now, Peter, you're no stranger to us. Some would say over the past 4 decades, you've seen it all, you've done it all, you've experienced pinnacle of success, lost it all, built it back. You've also had great personal tragedy in your life. You've lived and worked through 4 recessions. This is your 5th. You've written a national bestseller already, and now here we are, Be Great. I mean, what motivated you to publish this book? I mean, why now?
Well, I think what I find as I go through life, it seems that some people, it's so difficult to recognize the difference between success and failure. And the margins are so tight. You look at some people, they seem to do everything right, but they just don't make it, and they find difficulty. And yet when you talk to winners, they seem to have sort of a set of rules they seem to follow. It's almost like they kind of know what to do. I guess they've learned through experience. So I sort of kept track of that, and I'm a great emulator, so I followed a lot of what the leaders do myself, and I found that it works. So I just sort of felt it was time. A great way I can give back is by putting together all these tips. There's nothing really I've invented, Mike. These are tips that have been handed down through generations, really. But it's a little formula that you can, by following these rules that we're probably going to talk about, that I think anybody can have as much success in life as they want. And when I speak about success, Mike, I'm not talking about just successful financially. I'm talking about successful life, living successfully. My definition of success is the attainment of a predetermined goal. So if you set a goal to do something, then if you get that something, whether it's win a baseball game, whether it's be a parent, no matter what that goal is, if you get it, you're successful.
Now, you talk a lot about in the book, Be Great, you talk a lot about values and the importance of values. Maybe you can elaborate a little bit more on that.
Oh, sure. Well, I hang my entire premise is based upon your own value system. I guess it was in the 70s when I was in a business organization called YPO, Young Presidents Organization. I went to my first university and my first class. And I went to this class, and in that class, when you read about what you were going to learn about, they gave the bio of a man called Red Scott. And Red I believe that he had 17 companies that each qualified for YPO. And I had 1 company that qualified, barely, So to me, this guy, he was my learning. I thought, I can learn so much from this guy. So I thought, I'll go to that program. Well, I went there, and there was a room for about 50 people, and only about 15 showed up. And Red gathered us all together. He said, well, it's too nice that he'd be sitting here for us 15. Let's go to the beach. So we went to the beach, and we took out a piece of paper. Primarily asked us to take out a piece of paper and said, I want you to write down the things that you value. So family, relationships, friends, my career, things like that, So wrote them all down. And I said, I want you to write down what you've done in the last 2 weeks. What have you done? So, went drinking with the boys one night, did something else, traveled to here, wrote it all down. It was kind of easy, it took maybe a half an hour. Now then I said, what I want you to do now is I want you to draw a line between everything you've done and which value those things that you've done resonates with, which is aligned with it. That was my wake-up call, Mike. If I was lucky, if half of them aligned. So when I looked at that, it meant that, wow, half the stuff I'm doing doesn't align with my values. It doesn't what I hold dearest and most valuable. So I thought that was my huge wake-up call. And literally, within about 90 days, I had moved from halfway across the country to a different home, and I really did change my entire life, career and everything, to kind of get my values in order. And I call it living in alignment with your values.
Yeah, no, there's a beautiful sentence in there. It says that when your values are clear, your decisions are easier. I love that sentence.
Yeah, absolutely,
And,
absolutely.